Well, we are out here in it. We're going to do it. Weather be damned. We'll see what happens. Just put in at the Northbridge Park off of Cosgrove Avenue Bridge. Come off I-26 and you go to the right. You can go across that bridge to go over to West Ashley. We are on the Ashley. So I'm already breaking a sweat and got a little bit of a winded sound going through me already. Because I'm trying to paddle across we do have some thunder rolling. But I'm trying to go across the channel here like a chicken and cross to the other side. Because I didn't want to ride the left coast. There was a bunch of fishermen over there and fishing up off the beach. And yeah, I didn't feel like fucking crossing in front of them. So, because you never know where their lines are. I actually had to maneuver and dodge a couple lines coming out from the bridge or from the launch because there was a fisherman there and he had about 4 damn holes in the water. So anyway, I'm going across the channel. Of course, the tide is going with the channel here. And I was going to listen to my weather app and I said, nah, you know what? The weather app had led me astray the past couple times I looked at it, so I said, fuck it. I'm not going to pay attention to it. But it looks like there may be a thunderstorm coming. Last night when I looked, the weather was going to be clear. There was maybe a slight chance of a storm. Not even a storm, just a slight chance of some rain. When I looked last night, so I said, oh, it's going to be a perfect day. And now, I don't know if you can hear that thunder, the thunder roll. I'm trying to figure out how to change my camera. I never can figure it out, but so here we are. We crossed the channel. I don't know how far we've gone so far. We're only 8 minutes in. I'm gonna actually put my vest on. It's a little choppy out here. Once I got across the channel, not too shabby, but crossing the channel with a little bit of wind and a little bit of chop. So just to be on the safe side, we'll put this vest on. So the chop is gone. The winds are supposed to be like 10 miles an hour to the south. And we are going, where are we going? I believe we are going, at the moment, we are going southwest. So the wind should be at the back if the winds have not changed. I'm trying to think if I can go up through this little cove over here, this little area. See if I can flip you back around here. This little area up through the marsh. That since we are approaching high tide is going to be in a couple hours here. I'm thinking we could probably go through this marsh. We're going to take a look. We'll just see what's happening. Bunch of big school of fish over here. You can't see it. It's over here to my left. Bunch of little minnows, little shiners popping up. I mean, there's probably 100 fish bubbling right there. But we're gonna try and come up through this little marsh here and see if we can come out the other side and kind of cut this channel a little bit. No boat traffic to speak of. Obviously you can see those big clouds up there in front of me, so we're going towards the storm, but that's fine. That is fine. I don't mind getting a little wet. If anything, it's going to be a little storm that's just going to pass through. Shouldn't really see any gators this far up or this far down here on the Ashley. And we Might have to come back out of here. I'm not sure if this thing's going to pop out or not, but shouldn't really be any gators up in this area. We'll probably see some shorebirds and some different things, maybe some fish pop, jump. I did see some dolphins out there going the opposite direction, going down toward the harbor. They were jumping over there. We'll probably see some if we can get back over here into the channel. This kind of reminds me of the Mississippi up at the beginning, except it was about a third of this narrow-wise. And yeah, we were pushing through this fucking bullshit, not actually just paddling by it. We're gonna see. I'm not sure if this is gonna come out or not. We might add some extra time to this paddle. My goal was to get up to Magnolia Gardens. That was gonna be when I did a straight measurement, not river miles, but when I did a straight measurement, straight as I could, from the Northbridge Park over to Magnolia Gardens, it was about, yeah, there's some lightning up there. Hopefully it's gonna pass over to the west of us, but it was about a 6-ish mile paddle out to the gardens, and of course 6 miles back. So it's gonna be about a 12-mile round trip that we're gonna try. So I put in a little more than a couple hours ahead of, where are we at now? Yeah, a couple hours ahead of high tide, and I think we're gonna have to turn around. We could maybe cut through there. Damn, that storm needs to go to the west. But we're gonna put in a couple miles ahead of high tide, run the tide out, god damn it, the tide in, you know, up the river to Magnolia Garden. And by the time we got up close to around there, should be in slack tide. We're kind of in a slack tide almost already, but should be into a slack tide, and then when that thing starts reversing and going back out to sea, I can ride that back out. What direction is that storm going? I just cannot tell. I'm trying to find me an outlet because I really don't want to turn around and go back out of here, but we'll see. Regardless, we're on the water. We're getting some miles in. I was trying to do this in the middle of the day. I said, well, let's get out. We'll get some heat exposure. We'll get some wind exposure because it's supposed to be 10 to 11 mile an hour winds. You know, that's gusting pretty good. That'll get you almost to some white caps on the water. And you know, I figured it might drizzle a little bit. I wasn't expecting a thunderstorm, but so I figured we'd get wet a little bit. We, you know, going against the tide in some directions because the river doesn't go straight. You know, it meanders. So I figured we'd maybe get a little bit of tide pressure. Man, this thing's got to come out, right? We came into it. It's got to exit out somewhere. We will find a way. And this is the type of stuff that doesn't really show up on my map. You know, these things change a little bit, obviously, with the tides. What I don't want to do is get stuck in here, but we're at high tide, so we're not going to be out here long enough to get stuck where this thing, the tide goes out and there's no more water up in here. Hey, birdies, what y'all doing? There's some kind of activity right there in the water ahead of me. I don't know what that is. Could be a little alligator. Could be a bunch of tiny fish. Who knows, really? You really don't know what's underneath this water. But we do have a vest on in case you know, something turned us over for whatever reason. All right, we got to find a way out of here, man. I'm going to go ahead and cut the feed. We'll come back. All right. That didn't record it. Kind of boring, but we had to come back out of that little marsh back there. I couldn't find an exit. I'm sure there was one somewhere. I probably could have just plowed through. You know, like I said, on the Mississippi, a lot of places like this that we just had to plow water right across the weeds. Sometimes you had to you couldn't even paddle because your paddle would get stuck in the weeds. So we had to pull ourselves across by the weeds. You know, just grab a handful of them and pull backwards like a rowing machine and just just push through. But I wasn't doing none of that bullshit, so I paddled my way back out of there. And now we're back on the main stem of the river here, going up. As you can see, that storm's still kind of looming in the foreground there. Got lots of shorebirds flying around. Here comes one overhead. You can probably see it. Looks like a B-52 bomber coming in. It's not though. We're not getting any low flyovers from the Patriots. I don't know. I think this storm's going to push past us, man. It's not really rolling in very quickly anyways, and it looks like just a small cell right there in front of us. You know, maybe, I don't know. Let's put 10 feet. I don't know. That's maybe, I'm not even going to try and put a measurement to it. It is what it is, as they say, right? Nothing I can do about it except turn around and go back, but we ain't doing that. Thought it was going to blow around to the west, but now it looks like maybe it's going to blow around to the east, kind of circle counterclockwise in front of me here. But beautiful part of the river. I've never paddled up from the Northbridge Park. Always paddled downstream toward the harbor, which was my initial plan, not today, but in general. My initial plan was to put back in over there and paddle out to the harbor at a, you know, going into a low tide and then catch the tide back in. We reversed it today. I said, well, what's happening with the tides? I couldn't find a favorable time frame to take it out to the harbor. So I said, shit. I said, it's a Monday. Nobody's going to be on the water. All the wreck boats are going to be gone. The weather looked pretty decent. The tide was middle of the day. Let's get a little challenge going and go up the river. Like I said, we're going to try and hit Magnolia Garden. We took a little bit of time off going through that marsh, so yeah, I'm not talking to you, Siri. Give me a break over here. So that probably took me 10 minutes up and 10 minutes back just going through that marsh. So that took 20 minutes out of my day. You know, I was planning on going about 2 hours up and 2 hours back to do the 12-mile paddle, but we'll see what happens. Speaking of seeing what's happening, I don't know, get a little selfie view behind us. See what's going on back there. How was your weekend, guys? Did you do anything exciting? Went out to Charleston Sports Pub, met a bunch of friends up there. We got a big table, a couple tables. I think about 12 of us, 13 of us. I don't know. Maybe it was 13. Maybe that's why I had bad luck with my bet. I had my money on Argentina. Placed that bet quite a while ago, way before the final game. So they, you know, just squeaked by England to make it into the finals. And I said, well, maybe they'll squeak by Spain, but Spain just squeaked by Argentina, actually. Good time. Only lost $50, but I was looking to make, you know, a few hundred. By the time I placed the bet, they were not favored whatsoever. Well, I think they were favored second over France, I believe. So, you know, obviously France wasn't there. I think England took third, and I think France took fourth, maybe. I'm not even sure. I just know it was Spain and Argentina, 1 and 2. Anyway, I'll come back. I got to figure out where I'm going up here. I can't tell if I got to go around to the left. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. I can't tell if I go straight ahead right here, if that takes me up through that marsh and I get trapped again, or if I have to actually go over here to the left and go around. But you know what we'll do to remedy that? We'll pull up our trusty Google Maps to see exactly where we are and kind of take a look at the channels and see what we see. So with that said, I'll be back. All right, hey, we're back. I'll give you a real quick circle of what we're looking at here. So we'll go kind of counterclockwise. We're still making our way upriver. But this is how big the river is down at this section. We'll just do a quick circle. You can still see those clouds off in the distance. You know, I was looking at the North Charleston weather. We're kind of really in Charleston proper, so still circling. We're now looking southeast. Might see some shorebirds going over right there. Got a plane as well that you'll see in the distance here in a second. So we're going counterclockwise. Looks like maybe a C-17 that's going over from the Air Force Base. Now we're facing due east. Circle back around. You'll see the bridge there in the distance off of these trees. That is the Cosgrove Bridge. That's where we put in earlier. So I don't know. You know, we've been paddling 39 minutes so far, but we took a little excursion up through the marsh. So that is probably easily a mile, probably a mile and a half, maybe 2 at this point. Pretty good distance. You can see some of the container areas out here where the port is. All the container ships come in and they get offloaded with those riggings over there. You can see the bridge at one point, but the bridge is actually, you know, we're still circling here. We actually stopped facing east, but if you go on the other side of these trees back here, you'll see the Ravenel Bridge. I can see a tippy top of one of the spans over there. We'll keep circling here. So go back again. That's the Cosgrove Bridge. Northbridge Park is where I put in. There's the marshes we were just kind of paddling up into. Now we're facing northwest. We're coming back around. Now we're kind of headed due west, which is where we're going. We're going west on the Ashley. You would think it runs north to south, but it doesn't. I mean, in some areas it does, obviously, but now we're back to where we started. So we can't go straight through to this bridge up here, and I don't know what bridge that is. Is that, what bridge is that? We'll find out once we get up to it. I'm not exactly sure what bridge that is. But we can't go straight through there to the bridge. We've actually got to go over here to the left and skirt around. Because the river's like a little snake. A little snake that just slithers left and right and to and fro and up and down and west and south and north and east and all the ways. All right, be back. All right, well, I don't know if you can hear me or not. Winds have really picked up. I'm actually heading kind of southish. Wind is blowing northeast. It's at about 11 miles per hour right now. Like I said, whitecaps are normally at about 12 miles per hour, so we haven't kind of hit any whitecaps yet, but also these little waves. Had a couple wreck boats come by on the other side of the river, so these are kind of the ripple effect, the butterfly effect of those wreck boats that just came through. So we're still kind of skirting the shore over here. As you can see, here's the marshland, and we got this bridge up here in front of us. Again, I'm not sure even what bridge this is, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah, these these winds have really picked up. That's good. This is exactly what I wanted, because when I'm going to be crossing the Mohawk River Valley there on the canal, and when I'm crossing Oneida Lake, I'm most likely going to have headwinds. So this gives me a good idea of maybe having to paddle multiple miles through some headwinds. I do have a couple raindrops hitting me too. That storm is definitely, oh, the other way. That storm is definitely going around counterclockwise of me. It's staying over here to my left. As we power forward, you'll see up here at the bridge, it's clear over there now. But if I turn counterclockwise and I start showing you, there's the storm kind of going around me to the left. So I think we're going to be fine. We're getting some winds out of those outer bands, I think. But like I said, that's fantastic. That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted to see how I could still power through some of these winds and see if I could maintain a good, 2-3 miles per hour in a windstorm. Although I do have that small little trolling motor of sorts, the pack motor coming, I want to do everything with my own muscle, my own power. But if need be, I'll have a little bit of push that I can get me through some tough sections. So hopefully that still comes in time. It's nice when things come in time. All right, let me get back to muscle. All right, we've got some boats docked out over here. Looks like they've been abandoned, but I finally figured out what this bridge is, guys. I'm such a dumbass, but this is actually, let's see if I can focus. Actually, Loggerhead River Ridge Marina, maybe it's what it's called. Loggerhead something. Little marina. Nice little, just like a little pavilion over here. Little dock where you can put in. Boat ramp. I think that's where a couple of the boats that went by me earlier put in probably. But this is actually the interstate, guys. That's what bridge this is. Really, I don't know if there's a name for this bridge. It's just I-26. Goes into Charleston, goes out of Charleston, goes east to west to east. We're gonna go underneath it. I'll take you with me. Pretty uneventful right now. The winds have died down. They're probably back down to I don't know, 3, 4, maybe a 5. Put a bird up here. If he stays with us, if he takes off. Maybe you can see him. My bow is pointed right at him right now. He's up on that little post. A couple of them hanging out over here, actually. If he takes off. As we get close. Circle around and take a dump on you. Yeah, we'll go past this little marina. We're going to go under. Like I said, the winds have died down. Which is nice. What you doing, little bird? Don't attack me. Hey, what's going on there, buddy? What's up? What's happening? Oh, you don't have to leave. I know. You're like, well, why are you fucking with me then if you don't want me to leave? He'll be back. That was probably his spot. Got a little goal taking off right there. Gonna land on that boat. Gonna land on the boat. Sea time boat. I was hoping to see some dolphins out here, but I haven't seen any dolphins yet. But the day is still young. Yeah, little marina. Big bridge. No traffic coming either way. A few ripples up underneath. There we go. This whole trip, like I said, guys, is uncharted water for me. Never gone this direction from that landing point, Northbridge Park. I know I say it a million times, but I want you guys to know where you can put in and go do some paddling on the river. Been out here paddling. I've been thinking, I've got my old paddling gloves from Mississippi. They're not that great. They're pretty worn down after 2,300 miles or so. But I keep meaning to pull those out. But I'm kind of enjoying just to paddle, you know, raw dogging it, I guess you could say. Toughen my hands up. I don't know if you remember, I posted a memory of it the other day on Facebook, actually, that after the first, I don't know what it was, 10 days, 14 days, 15, 20 days being on the river, I had some massive blisters. I mean, both my thumbs, pretty much 2 spots on every finger. I mean, I had how many fingers you got? You got 10 fingers. I had 2 on each thumb, so that's 2. And then I had 2 per finger, so that's 4, that's 8. I don't know. Had a lot of blisters. 16, 18 at one point. So I'm trying to toughen up, you know, and that was doing, you know, significant mileage every single day, all day. Not doing that right now, but I am in some salt water, so I've got a feeling I'm going to have a little bit more roughage on my hands, you know, a little more abrasive with the salt. Salt's good for your soul, though. So my soul is going to be good. My hands maybe might be a little rough. Actually, it'll be exfoliated, if I'm being honest. I'm thinking about it. So, what I was saying is, I've got some gloves in my cart, some new gloves, that keep meaning to push the button on to purchase, but I'm like, I'll get them when I need them. Definitely be nice to have some gloves from time to time just to mix it up. Especially sometimes when your paddle starts getting a little wet, you know, your hand starts kind of sliding a little bit. Can't get as effective of a stroke. I like to have an effective stroke. So the gloves give you a little bit more of a grip. You know, sometimes you want a strong grip when you stroke, and sometimes you just want a light grip. But to each their own, how they like their stroke. All right. Well, I hope this isn't, as they say, the calm before the storm. I hope these birds aren't over here trying to warn me about something. Because they've all kind of flocked over here to see what's going on. They're like, we gotta go tell this guy. We gotta go tell this guy there's a storm brewing. There's now this little cell over here to my right and a cell to my left. Look at all these birds. I mean, they're probably, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 birds. What y'all doing, birds? What's everybody doing? Where y'all going? Just don't attack me, okay? Now, here we go. Here we go. Coming in. Watch out, birds. What y'all doing? Oh my God, I'm coming right in. Oh, should I just go under? I don't really want to, because, oh, of course, then you take off right when I'm turning my boat. I really didn't want to go underneath there because you never know if there's a wasp up underneath there. Nobody needs that in their life. I'm going on this little bridge, though. The footbridge. All right, guys. Well, it's been real. So come down river with me. Upriver. Whichever way I'm going. Come with me. Voyage with me. I need some company. Watching this guy actually from 2025 He did the Mississippi River last year. Real heavy. I was going to turn to tell you this story, but I don't want to keep the birds in there. But let's turn you around. See, I'm watching this guy. I don't remember his name right off the top of my head. We'll just call him a guy. But he did a solo Mississippi trip down the river from the headwaters down to the Gulf. I haven't finished watching it yet. I'm only on like day 24, 25. He just got through Minneapolis, Minnesota, through the Twin Cities. Hit his first actual dam on the river. He's hit some dams, but portage dams. You know, many of those through the Minnesota, but he just came out of Minnesota. He's got Wisconsin. Actually, he no longer has Minnesota. So he's got Iowa on one side and I think Wisconsin on the other side. He's already had a confluence of a couple rivers. He got through all the portages. Real high water year last year. I mean, he had to get off the water in Minneapolis, and he took an 11-day, 0-day because they wouldn't let you on the river. I mean, all the ramps were closed. Everything was like, do not get on the river. It's fucking crazy. So he's having a hell of a time, man. He's doing 40, 50 miles at a click because he just got so much flow going on. Even before you know, when everything was dammed up in Minnesota. And yeah, he just went through his first real lock and dam. You know, we had to lock through. I think he's done 2 or 3 of those now. But anyway, I'm having a great time kind of catching up and watching all these portions of the river and the towns that he's stopping in. He just stopped in Bellevue, Iowa the other day and stopped at one of the, I've actually got a sticker on the front of this boat from that brewery right on the river. Can't remember the name of it now. River something brewery. But he stopped there. I was like, oh, I remember that day because we stopped for breakfast that day. What the hell's the name of that damn brewery? River Street Brewery, Riverfront Brewery. Maybe it's Riverfront Brewery. I don't know. But we stopped there for breakfast one morning. Everybody was saying, oh, I've heard a lot of good stuff about this Grandpa's Grill or something like that. They got really good breakfast. Let's make a stop there because we're gonna be right on time for them to open up in the morning. We'll put on the river and paddle there, get some breakfast. So everybody's like, all right. That's when all 4 of us were still together. So we paddled over there, had a real nice landing, parked our boats, got off, went up to Grandpa's, got some breakfast. I think Willie has some biscuits and gravy. That was his favorite thing. I think I just had, you know, I was trying to stay keto on the river, so I just had some eggs and bacon, I think, maybe some sausage. All of us had some coffee, of course. And then I started looking around while we were sitting there eating breakfast. I said, let me see if there's any kind of breweries going on over here. Found a brewery right up on the river. Didn't open until noon. We were eating breakfast at around 9 o'clock. I said, well, guys, you know, this is like this was one of the, I think it was the first of many times I ended up leaving all these guys for different excursions. Because, you know, I was having fun on the river. I wasn't trying to muscle through and just get done with the river. I was trying to have fun with the river and experience it, you know. So I said, guys, this was like a really nice town. There's a brewery that's going to open up at noon. I think I'm going to hang out here. I'll catch up with you guys. So the guy's like, all right, fuck you. We're getting on the river. We're moving. We're getting out of here. I'm like, all right, well, y'all enjoy yourself. I'm going to have a good time here. So I took a walkabout around town. I don't know, probably did a good 3-4 miles while I was waiting for this brewery to open up. Walked around, hit this super awesome Germantown little graveyard, mausoleum and everything. I mean, it's huge graveyard. Spent a lot of time in there. They had a nice veterans memorial, really nice front street with some cool local artists, you know, type stuff going on around the street, besides the buildings, murals, those types of things. Oh, I thought that was an actual dog. Spinning around here. Well, it doesn't matter. There's a little dog walking on this pier, but it's actually a statue of a dog. What I was saying, yes, I did a little walkabout, took a bunch of photos, pictures, videos, and eventually the brewery opened. And oh my God, This brewery was amazing. Got me a couple flights of beer so I could try everything that they had. And then I had a couple pints. I was just gonna have, you know, a flight of beers at noon, hopefully be back on the water by by noon 30 or 1 o'clock or something. I think I left that brewery at 4:30 in the afternoon. Way behind. You know, I got a pin. We all pinned each other on Google. Little thunder in the distance. So I had a pin. I knew where everybody was going, and I knew what the projected campsite was for the evening. So I had a plan. So I said, fuck me, I gotta get the fuck out of here. This was not one of the nights that I actually just stayed the night, but so I got back on the river, I don't know, 4:30, 4:45-ish, and I've never paddled so fast in my life. I don't know if it was the liquid courage I had in me from all those fantastic beers at that brewery, but I even had some lunch there as well. But I got on that water and I had a mission. I was like, I'm catching these guys. Because like I said, that was the first time I'd ever dispersed and left everybody. I had to navigate myself. I was, up to that point, I was counting on Harry to do most of the navigation, and Eric did some of it as well. Most of those guys did all the map stuff. You know, they were the Marine and Army guys. I'm an Air Force guy. You know, I'm not out there in the field reading maps. I'm sitting in a 4-star hotel somewhere, right? That's what the Air Force does. No, I did some navigation training and shit, but I was letting them take the wheel, you know. They were having a good time with it. That was their forte. Everybody brought their own little skill set to the river, and that was their skill set, was mapping shit out. So anyway, regardless, what I was saying was I had a location, I had a pin, I had a campsite, I had my maps up, and I paddled the hardest I've ever paddled in my life. And guess what? About 30 minutes before the sun set, I pulled up to this little beach on the left. They had their tent set up. They were beachfront, probably, I don't know, 30 yards up off the water on a little sand landing. I mean, literally a beach. There was a guy in a John boat that had pulled up. He and his dog were out there frolicking around the beach. And I pulled up. They had a nice cold beer for me. I had bought some beers there at the brewery and brought them with me as well. So we shared some libations. There was some music playing that the guy was playing off of his boat. And man, what a fantastic time. And guess what, guys? I see some dolphins over here. See if we can capture them. Might have to cross the channel here. I see no traffic. The coast is clear. Literally, the coast is clear, right? I just saw them, like right here in front of my bow. They probably won't come up again. Maybe they'll swim with us for a second. There they go, right there in front. You see it? Can you see it? We're gonna go right to them. But regardless, I caught up with them, and like I said, that was the first of many times that I decided to take a side excursion on the river. There he goes again. Get close. We can have fun with some wildlife. Fun with wildlife. Adding some miles to the trip. Come on, man, don't let me down now. There he goes over there. 2 of them, I think, at least 2. All right, we're gonna get close. We're going the wrong way a bit. We're going the wrong way. But we're gonna have some fun with some dolphins. There he goes over there. Oh, I'm going. My anticipation of where you're going to pop up is not working. This is where they just popped up. Let's see if they stay in a straight line here. Come on, guys. Where'd you go? It's okay. I'm a friendly. Yeah, of course. All right, well, I think you guys saw him. Oh, watch out. Holy shit. They're blowing. Oh, there you go, buddy. Oh, he's got a booger. Nice. Beautiful. All right, we're going to follow you just another second, see if you come back up. And then we got to turn around and get back on course here. Have fun, guys. Glad you guys are with me. That scared the shit out of me when he popped up. There he goes. There you go, right there. Nice. All right, guys. We're moving on. It was good to see you. Have a nice trip. Maybe we'll catch up with you later on. All right. Oh, there's more over there. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to cross. Fuck it, we'll just paddle on the other side of the river. We need to be over there anyways, because we're going to pass Boone Hill dock or something, Boone Hill Plantation dock, so we might as well be on that side of the river anyway. We're going to come back on that side. We'll come back on that side anyway. I think there's more dolphins over here. Looks like they're going down the river on the right. Following the rules of the river. That guy never popped back up. I think they travel in pairs. I'd have to do some research if that's actually a thing. Do they actually travel in pairs? All right. Back out. Yeah, I misspoke earlier. I said Boone Hall Plantation Bridge is what I said, but what I meant to say was Drayton Hall, which is where we are now. And this boat just flew by me a little while ago, and he is now at this bridge, and I don't think he can go under, so I think he honked his horn at this guy. And I think there's a little elevation bridge that he's getting ready to lift up right here, so we're gonna take a look and see what's going on. We can obviously just kind of go through here, but yeah, looks like they're going to give him a little lift. So zoom in here. Take a look. He's going to lift this little bridge for him to get underneath there. Old Mississippi River Trail, you know, having to get through the bridges. Like I said, we're just going to go underneath this boat, so I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead underneath. And just come back around. Take a look at it from the other side. This boat is actually taking off, so maybe the bridge is out. We'll go underneath and see if he does lift it, he'll come from the other side. This must be train track, I guess. I don't know. Looks like I see train lights over there. To my right. I'm just gonna mosey on through. Take you with me. Just go right on through. Break on through. There's another boat coming from the bow. See what they're up to. We are an hour and 45. Is that right? Yeah, we're an hour and 45 minutes in, so we might just be doing a little flipperoonie. Might go another 15. We'll do a solid 2. We'll do a solid 2. We are going to flip around and see if he ever raises this bridge yet. That'd be interesting. This guy could maybe do a squeeze-a-rooney. Good. I think he said 10 minutes. I think he yelled at that guy and said 10 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna wait around for 10 minutes to look at this bridge. We ain't waiting 10 minutes. We'll maybe catch it on the way back. We'll maybe catch it on the way back. All right, guys. We decided to turn around. We were almost there, and I should have pushed through, but you know what? Sometimes you just turn around. Sometimes it's not that important. You know, a goal is something to shoot at, as Bruce Lee would say. It's not always something that you have to hit. It's just something to aim at. But we aimed at it, and figured it was going to take too long to get there, and we're going to be fighting traffic on the way back anyway. Not on the way back on the river, but on the way back down the interstate. So, and we are fighting against a little bit of a current. The current has not changed yet. I'm looking at it right now. I am going upriver as we're floating here, as I'm talking to you. But so, you know, we almost got there. We went a long way. When I get back and see the mileage, I'm going to see that it's actually a lot longer than 6 miles. Like I said, 6 miles was a point to point. It wasn't river miles, so it's probably a good 8 miles to get over there. So I think that total we're going to have about 16 miles underneath our belt today. We'll see. That's what I'm estimating. All right, this is Steampunk Brian coming at you live. Well, god damn it! The plan was to go to Magnolia Gardens, and darn it, we're going to go to Magnolia Gardens. I just flipped around to start making the journey back because we just hit 2 hours and 7 minutes. And you know, my original plan was to make it out there in 2 hours and then make it back in 2 hours. But you know what? We lollygagged a little bit. We hung out with birds. We saw some dolphins and watched them blow their nose. And I've kind of meandered a little bit. So we're going to get a move on. We are almost, I'd say we probably got another mile to get to the point of Magnolia Gardens. So that's what we're going to do. Screw it. There's definitely some weather out and about. We've missed all of it so far, and that's a good thing. Hopefully we continue to miss it. I talked to my friend Deb. Showed her a picture of me out here on the river, and she said, "Get off the water, Bri. Get off the water, it's bad here." And I'm like, "I'm not in Somerville. Maybe it's bad in Somerville, but it ain't bad down here yet. It's bad all around me, but I've been lucky to escape it, so maybe we'll continue to be lucky." Hey, one thing of note, if you see right here in front of me, if you ever get lost while you're out and about on the river, and you think you might not be in America anymore, you can always rest assured that you'll see a flag reminding you that you are, in fact, still in America. So if you ever get lost, you can always be sure that you haven't left the country. So we are, I don't know, right up here somewhere, right around this bend. We're going to come up on the point of Magnolia Plantation. Then we're going to spin this motherfucker around and start a beeline back. Hopefully the current turns at the same time we're turning. Still got a little bit of a flow going upriver, not much, just a tiny bit. You know, if I stop paddling, I kind of still float this direction, just a hair, just an 1/8 of a mile per hour or something. I don't know. But yeah, we set a goal, and we're, gosh darn it, we're gonna make it a little bit later. But we're gonna see what our split time is when we come back. So I'll do a split on my watch and see what that's all about. You know, probably we're gonna hit Magnolia here about 2 hours and 20 minutes maybe. See if we can get back in 2 hours. We should, because we're gonna be riding some tide back. There's a nice little 10-foot pelican over there on the dock. Nice little boat for this little area. Just to tool around this little, meander around this little area over here. And if you ever forget your, well, let's just stop talking. Something just swelled right there in the water. I don't know what that was. We're definitely getting back up into alligator country. And we've kind of gotten out of the brackish water, salt water, pretty much when we first put in down there, but we've gotten out of the brackish and kind of back up into the freshies. And the tide's going out, so we might start seeing some gators on the banks starting to come out for an afternoon little soiree on the river. Nice little canoe here. Oh, yeah, that's what I was gonna say in that way back in a couple other videos when I was talking about that guy that last year canoed a high paddle on the Mississippi, high water in Mississippi. He had a Winona boat, 17 or 18 footer, I think. Got a little boater up here getting ready to launch. Hey, how's it going? Doing well, man. Yeah, the weather's held off so far.
Yeah, but right over there on the other side of the tree.
Yeah.
Hurry up.
All right, we're recording that guy. The storm is hiding right on the other side of the trees over there. But you know, got plenty of places we can pull out, get up on a dock and weather it out if we need to. Little does this guy know I've been in some storms. Wonder which way he's going. He's telling me to get off the river, and he's getting on the river. He said I better get where I'm going. He just needs to worry about himself. All right, let me check my map and see where we are. All right, we're back out here in some big water. Coming back up on the I-26 bridge. But I saw some dolphin over here. I'm trying to speed over here towards the bank. I was going right down the middle of the damn channel, hoping there was nobody behind me because, you know, I went through that Drayton Hall Bridge and nobody had gone through. There was no boats behind me when I went through, so I figured I'm safe. But anyway, got to speed over here to catch this dolphin, and now it has stopped surfacing, of course. So I should have just stayed in the middle. We might see some more. Wind's picking back up. It's coming right in my face. If you can see, you know, straight ahead in front of me, there is the bridge. And we'll do a little spinaroo here, just make sure. Yep, all clear back. Storm still has not hit me, skirting all around. I'm trying to do a direct line here. That's why I'm staying in the middle of the channel. I mean, I'm literally out halfway between Heading straight toward trying to keep my bow pointed straight at the middle of this bridge. When you look at the map here, it does a dog leg left after the bridge, you know, where we came from. So I'm trying to hit directly at the middle of this bridge, and then we'll cross to the far side, to the right side, and just ride that side all the way in, that coastline. But the straightest line between those 2 points right now is straight down the middle of this channel and going right underneath the right side middle of this bridge. So that's what we're doing. That's what's happening. We're getting close. We're getting back. Not really. I don't know where we're at here. We're at 3 hours and 12 minutes, so we still got a good 45 minutes before we get back in. It's been riding pretty good. Like I said, I got a little headwind. Actually, a little wind coming in from my stern side. So it's kind of pushing me around. I'm having to paddle a lot more on my right than I am on my left to keep myself straightened out. But that's fine. Siri thinks I'm saying something to her. She's always butting into my conversations. But shut up, Siri. I'm not talking to you. So yeah, got the shades back on. Trying to keep some of this salt water out of my eyeballs. They've been kind of getting burned up from the salt. And yeah, we're gonna make it to this bridge, and then it's the home stretch from there. Home stretch. But we got to ride this right side because that's where the takeout is. Back at the North Park, you know, when we first put in there at Northbridge, we crossed the channel immediately to get over to the right side returning side. And we're gonna do just the opposite here on the way back. So we'll probably talk to you one more time when we're taking out. All right. All right, so we're gonna make it, guys. If you look right up here in front, there's a beach. Oh, I gotta turn around. Here at the Northbridge Park, as I've mentioned a million times. Definitely gotten busier. I think there was like 3 cars out here when I showed up earlier. There's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, like 14. There's a boat on the shore over there. There's people out here fishing on my damn kayak launch. It's not a fishing pier, it's fucking for my kayak, goddamn. They're right in the way. So anyway, this will be fun. Getting out, getting around these motherfuckers. Pulling the boat up, but you know, share the pier, I guess, but realize what's a fishing pier and what is a kayak launch.